Hi friends, it's Mrs. McGee and I am going to share with you one of my favorite stories today. This book is called Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. I know that this week you are studying color words, so let's look for the color in this title. Harold and there it is, Purple Crayon. Would you please read the letters that make up the word purple with me? P, U, R, P, L, E. Good job. When we see all of those letters together, they make the word purple. Let's clap that together. Purple. 2 syllables for the word purple. Here we go. Harold and the Purple Crayon by Crockett Johnson. That's our title page. It looks pretty much like our cover of the book because it has the same information, the name of the book and the author. One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. And so you can see his purple crayon making the things that he needs. He made a long straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. Let's find out where he goes. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest ought to be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be, can you guess what kind of tree this was? It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got, there's another color word. Can you see it? R-E-D. That's red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. It was a terribly frightening dragon. It even frightened Harold. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. If you've ever been scared before, that might have happened to you too. Well, suddenly he realized what was happening. It looks like he's going where? Under the water? I think so. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. We were right. He came up and he was thinking fast. And in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. That was good thinking, wasn't it? He quickly set sail, and the moon sailed along with him. After he sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He stepped ashore on the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie. That sounds like a pretty tasty lunch. But there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. You might ask yourself, what kind of pie do you like best? Mrs. McGee likes coconut pie. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. He hated to see so much delicious pie go to waste. What do you think he's going to do with it? So, Harold left a very hungry, do you know what that is? It's a moose, a very hungry moose, and a deserving, do you know what this guy is with the quills? That's a porcupine to finish it up. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired, and he felt he ought to be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped, and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh no. Well, but luckily he kept his wits, that means his smarts, and his purple crayon, and he made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. What do you think he's making? And he made a basket under the balloon big enough to stand in. Now we can see what it is. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window ought to be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Hopefully he can find his room here. Oh, but none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. He decided to ask a policeman. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him, and he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. And then suddenly Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. That was good thinking, wasn't it? And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers so he's nice and snug. The purple crayon dropped on the floor and Harold dropped off to sleep. The end. I hope you really liked Harold's story. If you did, maybe later you can get a purple crayon and see where it will take you. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.